Hi, my name is Courtney Mangan and I'm a melanoma awareness advocate and I own a brand agency on the Gold Coast. My experience with skin cancer originally started when I was really young and my dad actually had skin cancer. His first skin cancer was at age 12. And then when I was in my early 20s, my uncle actually passed away from melanoma. And then when I was 29, I was diagnosed with my first melanoma. And it's been about 6 years and I've been fighting the battle. I first found my melanoma by my family members saying that there was a mole on the back of my right shoulder that looked like it had been changing. When I first found out I had melanoma, it was a really surreal moment. I remember I was standing in my office and I received the phone call from my doctor. He said that you have a level 4 melanoma, we need to get it removed straight away. And I just remember thinking like, what does this mean? Like, you know, you hear the words cancer and you think, am I gonna die? And you just never think it's gonna happen to you. You know, everybody knows somebody who has cancer, but they never think it's gonna happen to them. So it was really scary. Of course, being a redhead and fair-skinned, I was always really sun smart. When I was by the pool or outside playing sports, I think as Australians, we are taught about the sun and that we need to, you know, slip, slop, slap. However, I don't think that there is enough emphasis on the fact that when you're driving to work, the sun is hitting you, when you're sitting at your desk next to the window, when you're walking to get coffee in the morning, that you still can get sun exposure then and it still can be damaging. So for me, anytime I am going to be anywhere near the sun, especially if the UV index is 3 or above, I am putting shades on, hat on, sunscreen. I'm extremely sun safe all of the time now. I've always been taught when looking for skin cancer on my body that they have the A, B, C, D, E's. So they all stand for different things like asymmetry, the border, the color, all of those different details. So I mainly just look for moles that are changing. I'm very aware of my body and I think that's really important. People need to know what their body looks like, and even if you just take a photo of a mole and then in a month take another photo and compare them, you can check if things are changing and you can let your doctor know. I think for me personally, if I was trying to convince my friends or family to get a skin check, I would just let them have a look at what my life has been like for the last 6 years. I've had multiple surgeries. I've been undergoing cancer treatment for the last few years. I had to freeze my eggs because cancer treatment could affect my fertility. And I think that my life has been an example of what not to do. I think the reason a lot of Australians don't get their skin checked is there's a lot of myths around it. Women especially are scared to get naked for a skin check. For some reason, we get cervical screenings, we have babies, and that's all a lot more invasive than a skin check, but there's something about standing in front of a doctor naked that terrifies people. And I also think that people don't think it's ever going to happen to them. And the Australian lifestyle is glamorizing a tan. And so I think that it's just on the bottom of people's priority lists. If I was trying to convince a politician how important it is to get some national screening, I would get them to look at the statistics. You know, more people die of skin cancer every year than on our road tolls. And I think that's a really scary number. And I just think about, you know, when you're at school, you're taught that you go to the dentist and you get that done. And then you're taught about going to get your cervical screening. And then when you're a bit older, you get your breast cancer screening. And I just feel like that is part of what we know to do as Australians. But I just don't think that it has been instilled in us enough about getting the skin check. So it's really important that the government gets on board so we know and we're reminded by our GPs to get that every year. If I had some parting words to some Aussies to make sure that they knew how important it was to go get a skin check, I would say that you've got to protect the skin you're in because you only get one life. So your health is so important and you must make it a priority.